We are now exactly 30 days away from this year's World Track and Field Championships. In just 1 month's time, we will get to see the fastest and most talented athletes in the world finally clash on the grand stage in Tokyo, Japan. This season has already been full of incredible surprises and a few new world records, and finally getting to these world champs is something that many athletes have been eagerly awaiting for years, and some for their lifetimes. But before that ultimate moment takes place, we have one of the most entertaining weeks of the year, because what's currently happening on the Diamond League stage is just unbelievable. In this year's Silesia Diamond League meeting, we have a few huge races going down. We have Noah Lyles versus Kashane Thompson in the men 100 meters, the gold and silver medalists from last year's Paris Games. We've got Faith Kipyegon going after the 3,000 meter world record, which has stood since 1993, and we'll also get to see Karsten Warholm throw down over the 400 meter hurdles. This Diamond League is going to be incredible. However, one key race that is sure to bring in the views and all of the hype is the women's 100 meters, featuring not just the world's fastest this season, but the defending world champion. For this women's 100, we have all of the star power hitting the track. We've got Dina Asher-Smith, we have both Clayton sisters, we have Gina Lukenkemper, Jacia Sears, Eva Svoboda, Marie-Josée Tallou, and two athletes from the same training camp in Florida, Melissa Jefferson Wooden and the defending Olympic champ, Sha'Carri Richardson. Now, looking at their season's bests and personal bests, we can see that both Jefferson Wooden and Richardson have the fastest personal records of anyone in this field, as they both have 10.65 second performances to their names. This is incredibly fast running, and it places them at number 5 all time. But the reality of 2025 is that Jefferson Wooden has been on fire, currently holding an undefeated record through every Grand Slam race in the 100, through this year's Prefontaine Classic, and of course the United States Nationals, where she dropped her incredible 10.65. Jefferson Wooden has been on fire. However, unfortunately, the opposite can be said about Richardson, whose season's best only stands at 11.07. Now, Richardson has made solid improvements this season, dropping about 0.4 of a second throughout the year. However, Sha'Carri has undeniably been facing issues off of the track this season, and this really all boiled down to what happened going into this year's United States Nationals. Heading into Nationals, Sha'Carri found herself, unfortunately, arrested, as she was actually taken into custody while in the Seattle airport. And the reason that this happened is because Sha'Carri was on camera pushing her then-boyfriend, Christian Coleman. And things got pretty heated at the airport here. You can see that she was pushing him into the walls, she was getting really close to him and shoving him. This is just not a good situation. However, since that happened, Sha'Carri has gone public apologizing to Christian, saying that she's changed, that she cares about him. It really has been a full 180 to the dysfunction that we saw in the airport. And this kind of change makes me believe that Sha'Carri might actually be ready to do something pretty special come this year's meeting in Silesia. Sha'Carri is known to be an athlete of extraordinary highs and unfortunate lows, and if she's moving into a better situation after that airport moment, then she very well could be competitive and just might break 11 seconds. But that leaves Melissa Jefferson with still a huge gap over everyone else. It will be very exciting to see Sha'Carri race against Melissa Jefferson. Again, they both have 10.65 PRs, they both train together, and Sha'Carri is the defending world champ, so even though she didn't qualify from this year's US Nationals, she will be in the world champs. I am also very excited to see what happens with Tia and Tina Clayton. They both have gone well under 10.9 this season, with Tina Clayton actually ranked extremely high this year with a season's best of 10.81. And that was fast enough to win the Jamaican Nationals over Sharika Jackson and also Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. If the conditions are good, I think that everyone has the potential to get close to their season's best. But for Melissa Jefferson Wooden, many are claiming that she is hitting historic speeds right now. And if she can simply get in the right race with the right start and the right conditions, she has the potential to go under 10.6. Now, on the all-time list of the women's 100 meters, a 10.60 would land you at number 3 all-time, tied with Shelly Ann Fraser-Price from 2021. And the only athletes to ever run faster are Elaine Thompson-Herah of Jamaica and Florence Griffith Joyner from the United States, who ran her 10.49 back in 1988. So far in 2025, Melissa Jefferson Wooden has now run 3 separate races where the wind-adjusted time, or just the outright time, puts her under 10.7. But for that 1065, she only had a positive wind of 0.4. So if she can somehow get a wind close to 2.0 and once again get a solid start, I'm thinking a sub 10.6 is actually possible. This kind of run will certainly require near perfect execution. And again, it will require nearly perfect conditions on the day. But I am extremely excited to watch this women's 100 because not only could we see a historically quick time, but we will get to see the defending world champ, we will get to see this year's Jamaican national champ, we'll get to see Dina Asher-Smith, who is putting together a solid season, and I'm personally excited to see what happens with Marie-Josée Tallou, because she just took down Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price and Shericka Jackson in their most recent 100 meters, and given she has a personal record of 10.72, she is always dangerous when she hits the track. Now, one last thing that I find extremely important to mention is that Sha'Carri has only raced 4 times this year. She's run 3 100-meter dashes, and she also ran a single 200. And for these 100s, she has improved every time that she's competed. And given that she was injured for much of 2025, I would imagine she is on the mend, and she is also improving. And looking back to that 200-meter performance of 22.56, I actually think this race speaks volumes about her strength right now. She literally missed making the 200 final by 0.01 seconds, and that women's 200 in the United States Nationals was arguably one of the top 5 most competitive events of the entire championships. So the fact that she almost made that final with pretty much 0 200 experience this season is pretty amazing. So Sha'Carri is clearly improving. I think she's going to break 11, but I do not think she is set to take down Melissa Jefferson Wooden. That would probably require a sub 10.7, and I think right now Sha'Carri's ceiling is probably close to 10.9. Maybe 10.85 if she has a great race. And now I will pass this final question off to all of you. What do you think is set to happen in this extremely hyped Diamond League meeting? Which events are you excited to watch? Are you excited about the men's 100, about the men's 400 hurdles? Are you excited to see a real assault on that 3,000 world record? And for this women's 100, who do you think will come out on top, and what time should we expect? Thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, until next time. I think Melissa Jefferson Wooden's going 10.68. She's not going to quite get that 65, but she's going sub 10.7. Let's go.